Welcome back to the Girl Camper podcast, where we are going places and doing things. I'm your co-host, Lisa McDermott, and today we are diving into one of my favorite topics, and that is essential gear for a small camper. Whether you are brand new to RVing or a seasoned girl camper, knowing what to pack can make your adventures easier, safer, and a whole lot more fun. This episode is also part of our new video series, On the Road with Girl Camper, which you can watch on our YouTube channel. I am excited today to be joined by a special guest. She is a nuCamp brand ambassador, outdoor educator, and fellow Tab 360 owner, Jenn Grover. Jenn has spent years camping, teaching, and sharing her knowledge with other adventurers. And today we are comparing our gear list. Each of us has put together 6 or 7 things that we think every small camper owner should have on hand. Some of them are practical. Some of them are comfort items, and a few might just surprise you. Let's get started. Now, I am so excited to welcome today's guest, Jenn Grover. Jenn is a nuCamp brand ambassador, an outdoor educator, and a fellow Tab 360 owner who knows her way around small campers. She's passionate about helping others get the most out of their adventures, and today she's joining me to share her list of must-have items for every small camper and things that you should consider. Jenn, welcome to the Girl Camper podcast. I am so glad to have you here.
Thanks, Lisa. I'm really excited to be here.
Jen, for our listeners who may not know you yet, can you share a little bit about your camping background and how you got involved with nuCamp?
Sure. I did not grow up a camper. I grew up the antithesis of a camper, and my early adult experiences reinforced that sort of repulsion from camping. But I was a photographer and wanted to get closer to the landscapes I was shooting after a near miss with an elk in Estes Park at 3:00 in the morning. So I embarked on a journey to start to camp and ended up beyond my wildest dreams with a 2015 Tab 320 camper, which was my introduction to nuCamp. And I owned a nuCamp camper for about 6 years when nuCamp reached out to me about becoming a brand ambassador. I had been active in their community and really got to know them and respect who they are as people, not just a company. And so I was thrilled with that opportunity. And then last year I took out the brand new 360 prototype and put it through its paces on a pretty long trip. I would say long trip, but I really ended up with it for a year. And so I had a chance to camp in almost any type of environment with it, share feedback, grab some photos, and now I am a new 360 owner.
And so your 360 is slightly different from the 360 that I have, which is nuCamp's 360 CS. It has the clamshell garage kitchen. And they've loaned it to me for the summer to test out and make some content. But what drew you to the 360 model, and how does that fit into your style of camping?
I was so wowed when I saw the 360 intro video. I couldn't believe it. And so many people said, did they make that camper just for you? It was such a great fit because of the full-time twin bed, the full-time dinette. It's perfect for remote work. I work all over the place and I'm always working from my tab. I'm a business consultant during the day, so I need a great workstation where I can be professional and have a consistent experience while working, and it's really been a great fit.
That's cool. On your website, which people need to check out, which is jenngrover.com, we'll drop a link of it in our show notes. But you talk a lot about combining education and adventure. How does that influence the way you camp and the gear that you bring along?
That is such a great question. I think I've always been at heart very pragmatic, yet I love cute and fun like everybody else. When it comes down to it, I bought my tab because it was cute and fun and I could tow it with an SUV. And then I learned, oh, it's really high quality too. Like that part, I wish I would have thought of first, but I didn't. And that's become super important. And as I started using the tab, when I first bought my first tab, there was not a lot of information because nuCamp had just started making them. And for example, the ALDA manual, which is the hot water and heating system, was in a European language. I can't remember if it was Swedish or German, so it didn't do us a lot of good. So a lot of us owners sort of banded together to problem solve and learn together in the forums. And it occurred to me, I've got an instructional design background from early career, that people would benefit from being able to get the answer to their question in one simple place rather than digging through 10 to 15 pages of forum discussions and getting all sorts of opinions. So I started writing blog posts, and that evolved into some of the materials you see on my website and my YouTube channel.
And they're so helpful. I can tell you, as someone that is new to, I don't own it, but I hope to, a new Cam tab. The information that's on the forums and then that you provide is just so very, very helpful. And the ALDA system it's amazing. I mean, for people who don't know what that is, it's I think a Swedish heating system, and it is actually in-floor, in-wall heat. So you hear about that in new homes or in home construction, but to find that in a camper, I think is just amazing. And it's so quiet.
Well, I love it. Especially when I'm boondocking, it's almost silent. I'd
Mhm.
rather listen to the coyotes howl or the elk bugling at night when I'm sleeping than I would forced air blowing and blasting in your ear. It's wonderful.
Yep, exactly, exactly. So before we jump into our list, what's your overall philosophy when it comes to packing for a camping trip? Are you a minimalist, a just in case packer, or somewhere in between?
I'm probably somewhere in between. I probably lean, probably depends on your perspective, right? From somebody who has a massive fifth wheel, they probably think I'm a minimalist. For a true minimalist, they probably think I overdo it a little bit, but I think that my camping needs dictate that between the remote work, so the connectivity items, work items, the photography. From a clothes perspective, I don't tend to overpack, although this trip I think I have way more t-shirts than I need to for some reason. But, in general, I'm probably middle of the road leaning minimalist.
Yeah, I think once you start really camping in small campers, which is really what I've had over the last few years, well, when you first start out, you need all the accoutrements, all the cute stuff and everything, and then you start to realize that, oh, that just took up that much space, and I'd really rather have this piece of gear that's functional with me, and instead, or I really just don't need all this stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm big at packing lists. It doesn't matter what trip I go on, and then I save them. So our ski trips, I have a packing list. Our scuba trips, I have a packing list, and I revise them on each trip. And my husband never believed in the list. I always laughed at, well, how was that one ski trip that we went on and you got golf shirts?
Well, even with lists, you can screw up, right? I mean, there was a couple years ago, I went out west without my camera tripod, which is, you know, almost as important as the camera to a landscape photographer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, like you and I making so much content, we have a lot of camera gear that we need to bring along.
Exactly.
Yep. So let's dive into our list. I'm going to
Sounds
go
great.
first. My first one is a countertop ice maker. And I have to say, when I first became a girl camper and saw women talking about these ice makers, I thought, oh Lord, that is so bougie. Really? You need an ice maker? Until I got one. And now that is the best thing ever, especially if you are out boondocking and you have a source that you can plug it in, which is one of the items next on my list. Um, I love these portable ice makers to have little bullet ice for some water or anything or a cocktail. It's just nice, and it recycles the water. So it's not like you have to hurry up and go use whatever it just made. It takes that water and recycles it that as the ice cubes melt and then makes new ice. And it makes ice super quickly. And I just love it. And it's a small footprint. For me, it fits nice in the sink. in the Tab 360 clamshell back there. I can put it back there when I'm traveling and have had no problem with it. So I am over it being a bougie item. I think it is really great. And they've certainly come down in price. You can get them lots of places for around $85. So that is definitely on the top of my list.
Lisa, that is something that has been sort of on my mind this summer after having ice in a drink this summer with friends who had an ice maker. And I've had friends for years who've had them, and I've thought, that's just one more thing. I cannot make myself do it. But there was something about that day that turned my thinking and getting a cold drink.
Yes. Especially when you were out, boondocking somewhere. It just elevates that experience, I think, a little bit that, ooh, I have ice.
Yes.
You know?
It's funny because my first item would also by many be considered a bougie item as well, but I can't imagine traveling without it. And that is my Instapot 2-quart air fryer. It's a Instapot Vortex Mini, I think is what it's called. And my friend Dawn recommended this to me years ago, and she was so spot on. I cook everything from what you would use as grilled chicken to filet mignon to baking biscuits, cookies, all in the air fryer. With a small camper that only has a 2-burner stove and a microwave, it's amazing. It's expanded what I can prepare by so much. And it fits right under the sink in the bottom cabinet in my Tab 360.
Oh, wow. Wow. And we're going to put links to all these items in the show notes too for people because I definitely want to take a closer look at that. I've seen a lot of people talk about how they travel with air fryers, and that's just not something I had ever really considered. But it does sound like it makes cooking a lot easier to do and way more versatile. So that is
Well, and
cool.
cleanup is easy. You use an air fryer liner and you can pull it out and throw it away, and you're just then almost wiping up the inside. It's super easy.
Nice. Nice. So the next thing on my list is a portable power station. And for me, I do have a Jackery, but there are a lot of different ones out there. And I love this thing because I don't have a lot of I don't have an inverter on my particular Tab 360. Now I think you do on the one that you have. And what that means is without an inverter, I can't just plug anything in to one of the outlets. There's tons of USB-Cs and USB-A um, outlets here that do charge our camera equipment, which is fabulous on solar. But like I can't recharge my laptop, or if I want to get lazy and not use the propane stove to make coffee and boil water, I can plug in a coffee pot and it will fire that up. So I do love carrying a small portable power station, and they can come in a variety of power units or sizes and things like that. And if anybody is interested in them, we actually did do a Grow Camper podcast episode on things to consider before you buy one. Because one of the things I didn't realize, especially like with the Jackeries, is you cannot recharge them for infinity. They have only so many times that you can actually recharge a Jackery portable power station. And I didn't know that. So not that that makes it a bad thing. I've still gotten a ton of use out of it and I love it. But that is one of the things that I do really carry along to kind of help supplement the other things that I may need when I'm out boondocking.
That's cool. Yeah, power is so important. You mentioned I have the lithium upgrade package, so I have expanded lithium battery capacity and the inverter through the MultiPlus. It's great. But you do need a way to charge those necessities. I mean, I couldn't get by without my hairdryer. um, that's actually not one of my items, but it could have been.
I'm sure we have a lot of items that we
Yes.
pollinate on with. Yeah.
So my number 2 is a luxury item, but it's made my trip so much more enjoyable. I can show you. It is a Bose Sound Max, I think it's called. And it is a Bluetooth speaker. It's got a nice little carry handle. There's some water resistance. Wouldn't leave it out in the rain. But I use it to listen to music. I use it for sound when I'm watching TV in the camper. I connect it via Bluetooth. and it just is a high quality sound, portable, rechargeable through USB-C. And you mentioned there are tons of USB-C outlets in the Tab 360, so really easy to charge. It fits in a cabinet or a drawer easily, and it produces a really great sound for such a small speaker.
Bose does a good job of that too. Yeah, they really do. I think I counted in at least in the 360 CS, there's 11 USD ports in this.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane. It's some big number that was like, once you start counting them all up, I think there's 11 total plugins. So
I've never used them all, so that says a lot because, like you, we're charging all sorts of camera gear at one time, and I can have a lot of stuff plugged in.
mhm. So the next thing on my list is these little retractable lights. So this is kind of a double duty thing. It actually can be a lantern. So if I wanted to, if I was card camping or tent camping, I can hang that in my, in my area or outside. But what I really got this for, and I haven't had a chance to actually use it, is, and you can see it has different light levels, is that it has a retractable string light on it. You can't really see that they're on, but they're on. That's 32 feet that this pulls out to. And the reason I got this was because one night I tried to pack into a camping spot, pitch black, couldn't see it at all. And I thought, something like this would be really nice to have a couple of them when I do have two of them to lay out on the edges of that campsite, kind of like a runway at night for an airplane. And that would mark out where I'm trying to back into. It just pulled out like a tape measure, and then it easily restrings back in.
Oh, that's nice.
Super handy. Only like $13 on Amazon. So if you happen to run over one, Jen.
Yes, it's true. I backed over a lantern trying to use it as a guide light, backing in the dark.
That's not a huge, cost outlay, but something that's super handy. And plus they're just cute. You want to decorate your campsite at night? You got some cute little string lights, rechargeable, USB rechargeable. I think it lasts up to 4 hours. So yeah, fun little piece there.
I love that idea, especially since it might save me from backing over a lantern. So my next item is something I feel like is almost indispensable for me now, and I put one in my Tab 320, I put one in the prototype that I had, and I ordered a new one and put it in my permanent Tab 360, and that is a paper towel holder. But it's not just any paper towel holder. The spindle has a sort of like a springy mechanism on it, and it keeps the paper towel roll from unwinding when you're in transit. It's fantastic. It comes with adhesive. The adhesive stays up in the camper. I mean, I took that prototype all over the place in all kinds of weather, and it stayed up. And when I went to move, I moved it at one point for some reason, and it didn't pull off anything from the cabinet. So that was a
Wow.
win. Yeah, really good adhesive. And the paper towel holder works fantastic.
That is fantastic. Yeah, because there really isn't, even in the clamshell version here, there's really no spot dedicated to paper towels. So having something like that you can easily hang back there would be really nice to have.
Yeah, in the 360, I put it as you walk in the door, on the left, there is a little space opposite of the fridge that's up high that's perfect for a paper towel holder.
Cool. Very cool. Well, my next item is a grill plate. It's kind of heavy. It's cast iron. So if anybody, and this isn't just unique to the tabs, is if you have that little 2-burner propane stove that so many people have in their small campers, this grill plate actually fits nicely on top of both of those burners and turns them into a griddle. So if I wanted to make a bunch of pancakes or whatever, I could easily do that on this. It's really, really handy. This is the Weber Q
Mhm.
half griddle plate. but there's a couple different ones out there. So you want to look for the 2800 model, I believe, that it fits on. But it just kind of makes those two burner propane stoves a little more versatile. And now I don't have to carry my Blackstone griddle with me. I can just, do a lot of the cooking right on that two burner stove. So this is one of my favorite little things too. You can see it's brand new too. I haven't had a chance to use it. I found this one. A friend had loaned me theirs, and then asked for it back. What kind of friend is that? Jeez, I made her breakfast and everything, so then I had to get my own.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Blackstone is nice, but it's heavy, and hauling it in and out, if you can get away with one less thing, that's a win.
Yep, that's kind of how I thought, because I carried that Blackstone, my little Blackstone around for a long time, and I do love cooking on Blackstones. But this just kind of, I don't want to have to hold out. That gives me that nice alternative of something else that I can cook on and still have the ease of cooking on a griddle.
Nice. My next item has again become a standard for me. Where did I set it? I had it right in my hand. It is it's right here, literally right next to me. It is, you can't tell by the container, but it is a Sea to Summit microfiber towel. And there are quick dry towels out there that are worthless. I'm sure you used them. They claim to be quick dry, and you're like, my regular bath towel at home dries faster. But these are soft. Some of the quick dry or microfiber towels for camping can be less than soft, shall we say. Or they feel like they're just wiping the water off. They don't actually absorb water, which is worthless. And they come in all sorts of sizes. So this is a very big bath sheet size, which I love on a cold morning, wrapping up in a bath sheet when I'm out of the shower. But they're super soft and they dry very well. And I keep bath size ones, and then I keep some small to medium size ones, one for cleaning off my dog Rocky's paws when they're wet or when he's happened to get himself muddy before we come in the camper. I keep it hanging right by the door. And then I have another one I use to dry off the wet bath after a shower. I do like the walls and ceiling. And then I usually clean the toilet and floor with paper towels. But the microfiber towels absorb so much, and I have to use far fewer paper towels than I would, if I were wiping the whole thing down with paper towels.
That, a good towel is so important, especially when they fold down small. And you are so right. There are some of them out there that they just feel like they've left you still damp, and there's nothing worse than you, especially taking a shower at the campground, and you got to put some clothes on top of that. Oh, and you're already in that steamy hot shower room. Oh, I hate that. So finding a good towel that actually dries you off and then quick dries itself, that's a win-win. Definitely.
Yeah, and they come with a little loop, so they're easy to hang in the camper on a hook because the loop snaps and unsnaps, but it's perfect for hanging.
Nice. Very cool. Well, my last item, no, I guess this isn't my last item, my second to last item is something I just picked up at Overland Expo. And these are, I have to read my notes, Poso carbon fiber, nope, not carbon fiber, that would not cook well. Carbon steel frying pans. This is the 8-inch version. There's a 10-inch version too. What I fell in love with this about is that these are carbon steel. So there's nothing toxic in them. They are naturally non-stick. It's like cooking on cast iron, but with a beautiful smooth surface in here. But here's the win-win for small campers. Again, we've got those little 2-burner stoves. And my husband was laughing at me this weekend down at the expo as I was trying to cook something on a little skillet, and it just kept sliding all over the place. And I had really no way to handle it. These come with these heavy duty removable handles. So you put your little pan on the burner, get your stuff cooking. You need to take it off. You just attach the handle to it and off it goes. You need, you need to hold it while you're doing something. But then because the handle comes off, it's not in the way of that second burner that's so dang close. and then blocking you from doing something else. I just love these. And it's a little family owned company. I met the owner there, an adorable guy named Brett, and he and his wife make these. And these are an investment though. These are a once in a lifetime purchase that you're going to have forever. So the set of these runs $199 for the 8-inch and the 10-inch, but you will have these for life because they are so well built. Ultra compact, stack on each other. So super important in small campers when you're thinking about where you're going to put something and how versatile is it going to be. So I am really excited to try these out and be cooking something in them.
Very clever. I have a different brand, but it is carbon steel like that, and the handle's removable, and I love it. And like you said, it makes it great for storage too, because that handle isn't sticking out, taking up real estate in your limited cabinetry in a camper.
Exactly. Oh, and I forgot to mention, not only are these good on propane cooktops, they're also, you can use them on induction and you can use them on a campfire. So, I mean, how do you go wrong?
Yeah, very versatile. And I know that they're a real induction burner enthusiast, and they love carbon steel.
Yes. Yes. A lot of people I've seen in the small camper forums that they prefer to use a little induction cooktop for their cooking instead of the propane. So when I heard that these work on all three, I'm like, that's a winner. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So my next one is a little different. I'm a bit of a geek, but my friend Doug introduced me to a Faraday box, which just looks like a little black box. And you might think, why on earth would I need a Faraday box in my camper? But what I've learned is because of the transmission capabilities in modern key fobs, car thieves will actually somehow use technology that can pick up on that from your key fob and break into your car. And in my case, what I found is when I didn't disconnect from my Jeep with the proximity sensor, it sensed I was close. So the courtesy lights would pop on and, shine lights in my campground neighbors all night, which is not cool. They're in a tent, your headlights are flashing in them. They don't really love that. So my friend Doug recommended the Faraday box, and it's a great place to keep your keys when you're in the camper so that you're not accidentally activating your locks or that proximity sensor, and keeping safe from theft. And Amazon has a ton of different ones. This one seems to work great, and it doesn't take up much space.
No, it's a cute little box. I
Yeah.
never knew that about the key fobs and stuff. I just hang mine out on the hook. So I need to definitely look into one of those.
Some sites you're pretty close to your vehicle, or if you're not disconnecting because you're just spending the night on your way through, then you're really close to your tow vehicle.
Right, right. Very good point. So my last item is a comfort item. And this is, while it is fairly specific to the Tab 360s, I do think this is an item that is versatile for tent campers, car campers, and I think anybody with a small camper, especially if they have the twin bed. And that is the Thermarest Mondo King 3D sleeping pad. I love this thing. Thermarest sent it to me to try out because, sorry, nuCamp, but like most camper manufacturers, the cushions and beds in our campers are not all that comfortable. And while I love RV mattress and they make wonderful mattresses, they don't make a size that really fits the twin bed that we happen to have, which is like 80 by 32. They have more of a traditional twin bed size, which happens to not be that. So this, the Thermarest Mondo King 3D mattress in the extra large size is an 80 by 30, I believe. So it's only off a little bit, but it's 4 inches thick. I don't know if you can see it over here. It's a combination of air and foam in it. So you can adjust the firmness that you want on it. And I did put it just on top of the other cushions, but it made that bed so much more comfortable. And what I also love about it is that I have a second one for where the dinette twin bed can go. which I don't always have all down. I usually have the dinette up. But if my husband or a friend is camping with me, I want them to be comfortable too. I can take this Thermarest Mondo 3D Mondo King pad, and it rolls up into storage, and it rolls down to like that. It compresses down really nice, goes into its own packing, sleeve. It's just so easy to transport. So I love that as opposed to like a real mattress or a mattress topper or anything like that. It's a lot more portable, in my opinion, than either of those will be. So I think that kind of transforms the bed into making it way more comfortable for those many nights of good sleep.
Is this self-inflating, Lisa, or partially self-inflating?
I think it's partially, because
Does it,
I did add some air to it to make it a little more firm. But because of the foam, it does inflate a little bit on itself. But yeah, I added some more air to it and to do that.
I think I might have that one too. It just, as you're describing it, I thought, I think I have that. I'm not currently using it. I'm in the midst of experimenting with my sleeping. So I've installed the Froley system, this year. And I like that for airflow underneath to help prevent mold and mildew. But my mattress topper is fine for now, but it slides. So I need to either replace the mattress topper and cushion with a real mattress or go back to the air cushion. I use that at first.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
night's so important.
when we were first experimenting with different ones, we have a lot of backcountry camping gear, my husband and I. And he's like, oh, I'll just grab out one of our other sleeping pads. And so he put that down here. It was so noisy. Anytime he moved, we all woke up. It was just so loud. And it got to be just kind of comical. Just started laughing like, can you stop? Can you maybe go sleep outside? And I will say this one, you do not hear anything. There's no crunchy all through the night.
Yeah. Well, my last item is something I wish I would have bought 10 years ago, but I just got last year. I was in Colorado for a family wedding in my tab, and I had to find a way to freshen up my garments because, packing a dress is going to get wrinkled when you're doing the travel that we're doing. So I picked up at a Walmart a Conair. Let me see if I back up. Yeah, the Conair garment steamer. And not only did I use it, but my entire family took turns using it. And you can see it's not that big. You do need, of course, to use distilled water with it. But I use it all the time now to freshen up work clothes or even just t-shirts that get wrinkled because I've jammed them into a packing cube. I absolutely love this. It's easier to deal with than an iron because you would not only need the iron, but your table isn't really the right shape for ironing. And then an ironing board takes up more space. So this has been a godsend for me.
And that's not only just for small campers. We lived in our fifth wheel for a few years when we were building our house. And I got a steamer too at the same time because, yeah, having an iron board and an iron and all that, they take up so much room. And a steamer is so much easier. And that's honestly, if you work in a clothing store, that's what they use. When they go to unpack the new shipments of clothing, they use steamers. So I love steamers too. Yeah. Although I saw a really funny one on TikTok the other day. I'm not quite sure how it worked, but it looked like it wouldn't be for traveling at all, but they put the garment like on this stand and it puffed it all out. Like a big, like your clothing being like this big balloon. And then, so it was instant steam. I don't know. It was mesmerizing to watch and quite funny. And
I've always been jealous of those clothes dryers that had the steam capability to freshen up a wrinkled garment. I think that would be awesome.
Work. And we had one and I never could get that.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. That was all hype.
okay. Good to know.
Great. It was like, this is still just as wrinkled as when I put it in. And now it's damp. Well, Jenn, thank you so much for coming on today. This has been really fun. I learned some stuff on some new items I'm definitely going to go check out. And I hope we get to do this again.
Absolutely. I had a great time, Lisa. Thanks for having me.
Where can people, again, remind them where they can find more information about you and everything that you do, especially your beautiful photography? I can't imagine why nuCamp would ask you to be an ambassador. I say that sarcastically because one has beautiful photography work and takes some drop dead gorgeous camper photos that no pressure on me to have to live up to at all.
Oh, thanks, Lisa. My website is Jenn with two N's, JENN Grover.com. And I'm on social media under Jenn Grover Photography on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I'd love to have you join me there.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenn. This has been such a fun conversation. Thank you, Jenn, for joining me today and sharing your must-have items for small campers. I know I picked up a few new ideas, and I hope you guys have too. If you'd like to learn more about Jenn and her adventures, check out our website at Jenn with two N's, Grover.com. I'll drop a link in our show notes to her website. And remember, no matter what you pack, the most important thing is to get out there and enjoy the journey. Now, one last reminder, because it is the fall, 1 in 3 stored RVs report rodent damage. Don't let yours be one of them. I use Fresh Cab from Earthkind to keep mice out and keep my RV protected all season long. It is available at earthkind.com and from most major retailers. And it kind of smells good. Thanks for tuning in to the Grow Camper podcast. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on any future episodes. And share this podcast with a friend who's ready to hit the road. Until next time, I'm Lisa McDermott, and I'm going places, and I'm doing things, and happy camping.